My focus, now that we had Schmidt, was on licensing music that I'd heard about 3 years earlier from this dude. So Barry Levinson, let's tell us about your impact on the music in ski movies.
Well, my impact on the music in ski movies began with this album right here. This is the Buggles, and this is Trevor Horn. You may recall the Buggles had the first video that ever appeared on MTV, a song called Video Killed the Radio Star. From that to becoming a member of the band Yes. He was a singer in Yes for an album. Then he produced one of the greatest albums of the 1980s, ABC's Lexicon of Love. One of his main bands was a German band called Propaganda. And in 1985, this was pretty much a revolutionary sound. I met a guy named Bruce Benedict, who was Greg's partner in all the photography for his films. And I was telling him, well, I got a bunch of this really cool music I think would be great to have in a ski film. So Bruce asked me to make a cassette for him. And I made a mixtape of all those songs and gave it to Bruce. Somehow it found its way to Greg. Greg found his way to contact Trevor himself in London.
In London, Trevor Horn, his wife Jill, and their right-hand henchman Liam Teeling all turned out to be avid skiers and big fans of European ski movies. When I told them my proposition of wanting all of their music but having no money to pay for it, Liam replied, "Stumpy, my boy, I tell you what, you can have all of our music for free on one condition, and one condition only. That this ski film you're about to make is fabulous, because if it isn't, your film won't see the light of day."
Basically, the whole soundtrack for most of his films thereafter were ZTT music. Real music, by real musicians, as opposed to just some kind of soundtrack or Muzak music. And I think from that point on, even Warren Miller switched over to using real music in his movies. That created a whole change in the landscape of ski films from that point on.
How important did you feel music was for your movies?
As music was radically changing when the Beatles came along, and I was so busy making pictures that I really didn't pay much attention to what was happening in the musical genre. I probably stuck with if you will, symphonic music way too long. I felt, particularly in Europe, that you needed a full orchestra